So maybe we'll just buy it.
All right. This opens up a whole new can of worms. And even though this chapter is kind of weird, it is one of the more important topics we cover in this class because it's something that pops up most frequently in upper level classes. So if I look at my entire geometry curriculum and I compare it to what we do in calculus, for instance, this particular chapter is most common. So just to give you an idea, this is kind of important, so make sure you get it. So, we're going to talk about similar figures. It changes our concept that we did early on in which we talked about figures being congruent. And we simplified the congruence definition by saying if two figures are congruent, then they have the same shape and the same size. And we went on to say, okay, well, if they're polygons and all the sides are congruent and all the angles, corresponding angles are congruent. Similarity, which is what we're going to talk about, similar polygons, the simple definition is the following. They're the same shape, different size. Okay, so it's like a 57 Chevy and the model of a 57 Chevy. They're identical, it's just one is bigger than the other. When that happens, you've got those two cases. The angles are congruent, the sides are proportional. Common mistake is people make them both proportional. But think about it. If you've got a 90-degree angle in a figure, and then you have another one that's twice as large, the angle's not going to blow up to 180 degrees. It's going to stay 90 degrees. Angles stay the same. Sides become proportional. Okay, so a lot going on here. We got some new. We got a new symbol in there. Got the squiggly mark. The technical name for that is it's a tilde. It's a thing that's on top of the congruency symbol. We just lost the equal sign. It means similar. And just like when we talked about congruency, we took that congruency statement and we broke it into 6 separate statements. The same happens with similarity. Okay. So if ABC is similar to XYZ, then we know that the angles are congruent. So A is congruent to X, B is congruent to Y, C is congruent to Z. And then we have this big monster. And that big monster illustrates the proportionality. Even though there's 2 equal signs in that, it's still easier to write it as one sentence. I think I forgot to include something. I have another symbol for you. Again, because we're mathematicians and we're lazy, we don't like to write out big scary words. So we're going to use alpha now, fishy, and that means proportional. Proportional. So figures are similar, but sides can be proportional. So I could say something like AB and XY are proportional to BC and YZ. It just allows you to not have to write out the word proportional every time. Pregunta?
What's that?
Question.
Okay. How do you get?
Use that all the time. What do you know? Like every single day.
Right.
Sorry. How does the sentence make the bottom? The like that A equals X colon thingy B. How does that?
Well, hold on. Back up. What are you asking me? You asking me about this?
Yeah.
What does this say?
A is corresponding. No, it's congruent to X.
What's A?
Angle A
Is.
congruent to angle X.
Let's give it up, everybody. Come on.
But then, like, how does that make the bottom?
It doesn't. See the thing on top? ABC is tilde to XYZ. That implies all that at the bottom. So that implies all of the bottom.
So the
Those
A-
two lines.
Well done. I'll be back in a minute, Mom. So, yeah, this similarity statement.
oh, so that makes that and that, but that doesn't make that.
That doesn't do that. Okay, if we're
The
doing
top,
this
the
math.
top.
Hold on. Okay.
I'll do equal.
Let your noodle soak this up for a second. If two figures are similar, then their angles are congruent, that's the one in red, and their sides are proportional. Okay. If two figures are similar, then their angles are congruent, and their sides are proportional.
Oh, I was trying to get.
Light bulb just went on.
I was trying to get the bottom from the middle.
What?
Like I thought the middle implied the bottom. You know?
No.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem. That ratio that we've set up now is called the scale factor. Actually, we'll use a couple different phrases, but most commonly we'll talk about the scale factor. And if you're into building models, like you buy a model of a 57 Chevy, again, bring that up, it will say on the box, this is a 16:1 model. It's a 32:1 model. Like Hot Wheels have a scale on how much smaller or bigger the thing is. Notice the difference then between 3:1 and 1:3.
I'm lucky my ninja skills didn't kick in.
You have ninja skills?
No, not unless you have enough for everybody.
If they're good boys and girls, you can give them back their pennies.
They're always good boys and girls. If you donated some pennies, they're right there. Grab them on the way out. Where was I? Oh, so we'll have to talk about the difference between a scale factor of 1:3 or a scale factor of 3:1. So for instance, if we're talking about a 57 Chevy to a model of a 57 Chevy, that would have a scale factor of, would it be 5:1 or 1:5? 5:1, good, the bigger one comes first. So depending on what order you're talking about, for the most part it'll be interchangeable, but sometimes we'll get a little persnickety about that, and you'll have to make sure you get it correct when you start solving some problems. Okay, anything tough about this yet? We're just talking about bigger and smaller things. Okay, so, simple triangle, dog and cat. First thing we want to do is find out what the scale factor is between these triangles. However, we want to check to see if they are similar. And so, just like we did with congruency, if you'll recall way back when we talked about congruency, we said, I think these two triangles are congruent. What makes them congruent? And we had to check to make sure that all the angles were congruent and all the sides are congruent. So, similar scenario here with similarity. We need to check to see if all the angles are congruent. Well, are they? How big is angle D?
70.
You sure?
Yes.
Because 68 plus 42 is
110.
110. 110 from 180 gives us 70. Okay, so, and this would be 68. Now, I will point out, this is 68 because these three have to add up to 180, not because that one happens to be 68 too. So we satisfied one of the conditions. All the angles are congruent. Check. Now, are the sides proportional?
Yes.
You got to be careful that you match up the correct things. We're matching up dog to cat, which means D goes to C, O goes to A, and G goes to T. So let's start with DG. What corresponding side is DG?
CT.
And I'm wondering if that's the same thing as 7.5 over its corresponding side,
2.5.
2.5. And I'm wondering if that's also the same thing as 12 to 4. Sometimes these things will get a little wonky. The easiest thing to do is just convert them to decimals to see if they match. That's 3, that's 3, that's 3, so therefore we know that it's proportional. It's a little sloppy there. Let me clean that up.
So should we use fishy on homework for proportion?
You can use fishy whenever you'd like. You get it tattooed on your back if you'd like. I don't care. Yo,
I have a question.
that's probably why you raised your hand.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, it doesn't directly relate to this, but if we have goldfish and we have enough for everybody, then can we eat it?
What?
Like a carton?
Yeah.
Like you could run in one of those big Costco things.
Yeah. I've got that at home.
I have one.
We have
And
paper
paper
towels,
towels,
so we
so
don't get the mess.
I haven't.
Goldfish.
Okay.
So we
well,
can have
then
a
can't
party?
we-
Can I give
we can have a
everyone
goldfish
They have
one
party
goldfish? I need
Tuesday.
my goldfish.
If you bring at least,
And then you go.
At least 2 for every person.
Yeah, at least.
Keep a whole thing.
as long as you have at least 8 goldfish per person.
How many people are in this
I think you'll be fine if you get the big tub.
Yeah, that's,
Honestly.
that's
A little
fine.
quickly, we have 5 rows, 5 columns. so-
25.
And Mr. Beachy.
Genius, we don't.
You didn't even use a calculator for that. Let's give it up for Tom and his math, huh?
Thanks.
That's 2 for you today, I'm proud of you.
Okay.
So you would need how many goldfish?
A lot. I'll have food tomorrow.
250.
200.
200.
That's 3.
What is there, 25 people?
Hey, that's 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, 25 times 8.
Oh, I thought it was times
200.
10. Oh, that makes sense.
That's still.
Just read.
Yeah.
Does it have to be goldfish?
Well, technically there are 26 people in here.
That's what I said.
Thank you.
Wait, does anybody have any?
So that means it's 208 goldfish.
Is that a no?
I don't think anybody's allergic to
I
goldfish.
have a little nice goldfish.
Actually,
Put them away.
can't eat goldfish.
Oh, he's got the.
Why can't
Want me to
you?
hold it for you?
No.
Trust me. What kind
Are
of
you
guy?
bring regular?
The rainbow
It's not
goldfish.
protein.
No, kosher. That's
I have no
really
idea.
6 minutes.
whatever it's called.
Oh, I gotta keep
What's
going.
kosher?
Alright, so,
Goldfish.
angles work, sides are proportional. Okay, remember, sides don't have to be equal. If they're equal, that's congruency. We're not doing congruency anymore, we're doing similarity. Okay? Beautiful. Get rid of that, come back here, do this. What's the scale factor? 3 to 1. Or 1 to 3, because I could have set up my fractions the other way. I could have done 2.5 over 7.54 over 12 and 2 over 6. Since we get a little bit of confusion there between 3 to 1 and 1 to 3, we're going to set a standard. We're going to consider this our first value. This is our second. And since you didn't know, now you do. The correct answer would be 3 to 1. Okay. When you're given a similarity statement. If you're not given a similarity statement, then you can give me either one.
Wait,
and I
I'm
can-
confused. Why is it 3 to 1?
This is 3 times as bigger. That's horrible English. This is 3 times as bigger as this bigger over here. There, John. Now go over here.
wait, so if it was,
Are you 3
Oh
times
God,
bigger?
no! I don't have time for you.
no, it's actually a
No.
good question, I swear. If it was CAT, squiggly line thing, I forgot the word for it.
Stop! That's it. You lost me.
It would be 1 to
No,
3.
would it be 1-3
Wait.
if it was
Yes.
CAT?
I still
Look.
want to answer my question.
Yes.
Why is it 3? Why is it 1 instead of 1 to 3?
Because dog is listed first,
Oh, okay.
so then we would put that on top for the numerator.
And I
then-
get it.
Yeah. So we started with some triangles where we knew all the sides and could calculate all the angles. If we don't know all the sides and all the angles, then that scale factor will help us determine the missing lengths, as long as we know the scale factor between the objects. And hopefully this isn't gonna weigh you out too much. It's a pretty simple calculation. If something is twice as large as something else, then you can use that ratio to calculate all the different lengths. Okay. Angles, again, are congruent. You don't have to do this with angles. Anything that you can measure with a ruler will fall under this rule. Perimeter, length, altitudes, medians. What doesn't work is area and volume, which we'll get to later. Sure.
Circumference?
Can you measure circumference with a ruler?
If you
No,
tried really
I'm
hard.
sorry.
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
You
Take a
can?
piece of string and then lay it out. Yeah, that's a linear measure.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. You've learned something today.
He's learned 3 things.
No,
I'm
he
just
hasn't.
giving out.
Just be quiet, dream about your goldfish. Okay, like I said, anything that can be measured with a ruler. I got a quick video for, we're done, so I got a quick video for you.
Moose video?
I don't know if it's seen, no, it's not a moose video, I'm sorry.
I got it.
It's a treadmill video. Have we seen this one where the guy?
May I eat it now?
No, which one? Which one?
The dancing video?
No, wait a second, hold on. If it doesn't give away my goldfish, I'll eat a nice beer.